Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to talk about my 5-game match against world number 52 English Grandmaster David Howell, who is considered one of the best chess commentators on chess.com and in general, and I managed to play all 5 games, 2675 rated FIDE Grandmaster. That's insane. In the first game he started with d4. I actually gotta, analyze this more, because you don't get this opportunity as often as you think we'll get. So, and facing off against such a strong opponent is always kind of cool. He plays bishop f4, and what surprised me, after analyzing all those games, David here played queen d2, which is considered a blunder. And you know why? What happens here is I could play knight d5. And basically, if queen takes, bishop e5, there's bishop f2, king f2, knight g4, and I actually managed to take a pawn. And if in the following position he takes, I can just take on f2, and black are still up a pawn. But you never expect this, that Grandmaster of such level can blunder those stupid, silly tactics. So of course I castles, queen a5, knight c4. Here again, very bad move, very poor move by me, queen a5. That's how basically, you shouldn't play, because I allowed him to play knight c4, and he's getting a lot of tempos, extra tempos. So computer says actually that bishop b4 is the best, pinning the queen here, but for me it was like I gotta get rid of the spin, so I was like, okay, I gotta play this as soon as I can, and then go queen d8, and I realized, okay, I'm actually in a bad spot. I decided to sacrifice queen s7, knight f6, bishop e6, try to get some compensation, but of course it's never enough, and here he took pawn, and I'm basically collapsing. Knight d6, rook b8, trying to take. And in the following position, I admitted his loss. So the second game, actually in the first game, let's check the accuracy. The accuracy was not bad actually. 86.0 for him, I mean, it was bad indeed, and 73.8. So in the next game I played with white pieces, and he played Caro-Kann. So I played Sicilian with black, he played Caro-Kann with black. Knight e4, knight f6, again, very interesting bishop e6 move. According to computer, I played the best move, d3, queen c7, g3. I'm trying to flank it on my light squared bishop. Bishop f4. I hope you don't get bored, don't fall asleep. Watch till then, because the third game is what you will stay for. c3, knight g5, bishop f5, knight d4. I took the bishop, I was like, alright, I should be fine. Knight f3, rook e. This game I actually played well, till a certain point. So here computer says rook e8, and knight c4, knight's coming to g6, and here bishop f1, and I should have a good position, and apparently it is good. I also have some queen d2 ideas, trying to keep an eye on h6 pawn, but I play a8-4. I was like, I gotta get this queen. Knight d5, bishop d6, knight f6. So here bishop d6 apparently is a bad move. Again, I should have played knight c4, getting this queen to a6, which doesn't look good here for black. So bishop d6, knight f6, I allowed David to kind of go around, and here I realized that basically bishop f1 is a blunder. I should have played rook e8, and then basically, I mean, still, knight e8, bishop a3, queen c4, bishop f1, it's actually insane. Because here black, in order to save their queen, they have to play this move and play queen e6, and computer thinks it's actually good for black, which is kind of insane considering they have 2 bishops, maybe because those bishops don't perform too much work. It's actually bad, but after bishop f1, rook e1, b5, takes, I actually admit his loss, because I'm losing bishop on d6, because this knight has to go back, and this bishop has no defense, and I lose. And the third game, so that's the one you stayed for. I hope you watched till this moment. e4, c5. I'm playing with black pieces again, d6, and we have the same Najdorf on the board, and this time it's kind of different. Knight d7, knight c4, knight b6. I was trying to trade, and here again slightly worse position. He got 2 bishops versus knight and bishop. I was like, alright, I mean, if I'm playing well, I also was thinking, okay, knight d5, maybe I'll sacrifice, let's say, what I was considering, let's say some random h4, knight d5, takes, queen d5, bishop d7, I was like, this might be very good for me, because bishop is coming, those light squares are in huge trouble. I was like, this might be okay, so at some point I kept an eye on this knight d5 idea. He plays queen f3, knight d5, bishop d4, and here, after queen c2, I realized that actually, you know, I'll be happy to, you know, basically sacrifice my pawn back to d5, because then, you know, light squares are becoming very, very weak, and I took a pawn, and this is looking not too bad. He plays bishop c5 and rook c4. This rook is coming to g4, and I gotta be very careful with what I do here in order not to lose quickly. Bishop d7, rook g4, but surprisingly I managed to find the best defense. Bishop c6, bishop d4, e5, bishop d5, I take, rook f4. Now look, if I move my queen, you know, bishop f7 or rook f7, and that's a disaster. I mean, queen d6, bishop f7, and I lose the game. So bishop d5, queen d5, and here again I have a serious question what to do. So computer thinks rook d8, keeping the d4 pawn would have been nice, but I decided to go for queen s6, and I was like, queen d4, I take on a2, and I'm fine. So David played rook d4, queen d5 takes, and after rook s7, I realized that it's probably gonna end in a draw. I'm up 17 seconds, and this should be actually good. So rook d1, g6, king g2, rook c8, rook d2, king g7, a3, rook c6, h4, h5. So I knew, you know, probably the game gonna end in a draw, but again, I'm up on time, whole 20 seconds at this point. Rook c7, and surprisingly for me, I offered a draw somewhere here, and David actually declined. But what happens next is insane, because I managed to create problems for white pieces here. g4 takes, rook c4, you know, we slide back and forth, David is getting lower and lower in time, and around here, he plays rook f4, and this pawn is no longer protected. King a7, king c6, rook b3, king b7, he's trying to take pawn, but after a5, king a6, rook b4, you know, here I'm actually coming first with checks, so he can't take my rook after rook b4. He plays rook f2, rook a4, and here I realized that I might have to pass pawns. Unfortunately, I'm not smart enough. Rook h5 would have easily won the game, because let's say rook g2 f6, if rook f5, same f6, and I take on g5 and win the game. But you know, Romka is always talented. Rook g4, rook e5, and here I play king g7. Again, rook f4, rook f5 would have been good, but again, as I said, very talented. f6, king f8, I manage to actually give this pawn back. And again, it's a draw, but after rook e6, my king is coming, takes the pawn, and I'm slowly promoting this pawn, rook a5, and here, final mistake. Of course, I would have won. I had 3 seconds more. King e4, final mistake, queen h1, and I win the game. And the accuracy is quite good here, 86.9 for David Howell and 89.6 for Romka. And in the last 2 games, I was actually completely demolished. So very interesting b5 system. I actually need to come up with some solution against it. I didn't really have chances in those 2 games. David was so angry. He was destroying me, demolishing me. I tried my best, but again, I couldn't compete against Grandmaster of such level. King h2, queen f2, I gave up a pawn. I tried to create tricks, but nothing worked out. And I had to admit this loss, because basically I couldn't checkmate him on g7. I have no chances. a3, a2, a1 pawn is gonna be promoted, and I lose the game. And final game, I'm playing with black piece again, and finally, instead of playing regular e4, which happened before, he played knight f3. So we got into very boring position. I tried my best, you know, knight f5, trying to take on d3. Here knight d3 doesn't work because rook d1 is coming, so here knight c6, knight d8, knight d6, knight f5, threatening g3, knight b4, this, queen c6, and at some point here I think I had chances. So I played b5 takes, queen b5, and here apparently c4 is a very good move, which I actually played in the game, and here David plays d4. And instead of going queen b7 or queen c6, attack in the knight, so that knight can attack with the tempo back, right? I played queen d5, and actually knight c3 came with the tempo, and white have no problems. But if I would have played queen b7, attacking the knight, knight will have to go back, because let's say queen c2, there is knight to f4. So knight has to go to c3, knight g3, and I win an exchange. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. I played queen d5. After knight c3, I had to struggle, and David slowly was outplayed me, completely destroyed me. And again, here, guys, another interesting moment. I had some knight d5, you know, making things tricky. Didn't happen. Played rook f8, rook f7, and here I tried knight d5 again. My idea here is basically, let's say he does something random, like plays, I don't know, maybe. Unfortunately, there are no random moves. What's the most annoying thing? Let's say knight g4. There's actually some, let's say, queen f1 and basically c1. That was my initial idea, but apparently it's lost because takes, and let's say takes, and there is knight h6, and I'm being checkmated. So bishop b2 was played, bishop c3, and here again I blundered on f8. David was very nervous as well. Bishop d4, yeah, and finally David checkmated me. I lost 1-4. I mean, you can let me know in the comments if it's good score, if it's bad score. After all, it's world number 52, one of the best grandmasters, one of the best chess players on the planet. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you didn't get bored too much. I know you probably fell asleep, like me, but I didn't fall asleep. I'll see you in the next videos. Bye bye.